Hello everyone. So in this video, let me share my experience of onboarding new Jira users, or at the same time, I should say, rolling out Jira for a new team, or maybe uh, for an organization. Now, whenever we talk about rolling out Jira for a team, let us talk about a team, and maybe you have identified that in this particular company we have to start using Jira for this particular process. It could be any process, it could be any team, let us say marketing team, or maybe you are deploying Jira for software team, or let us say service desk. So irrespective of the type of team or the process, in the beginning, of course, we talk about training. And when it comes to training, and this video is a bit similar to a video which I made, I think maybe a month back, where I mentioned that you should find a balance between doing too much training versus getting things done. Because I think, and no, I don't really think, but I have seen that companies try to spend too much time, way too much time, doing the most perfect training, and that is of course all great. But usually people are not really used to the idea of attending, or they are not really comfortable attending like trainings and going through videos or reading documentation. And I can share with you a very small tip which I normally try to do wherever applicable. It is not always applicable, but I'm just now sharing it so that you can also think about it. Now, of course, I believe in training. I also believe in creating some nice documents explaining the standards that you want people to follow, like some kind of a policy document or way of working, which is of course very much important. But apart from that, I think what you can also think of doing is create a simple, very simple onboarding document or a page somewhere that you can publish. Now, this document should be there somewhere where people have access to. For example, it could be somewhere in your company's intranet. It could be Confluence, it could be SharePoint, it could be your website, or it could be may not be the website, because website is of course public, but anything which is accessible. It could be a PDF file, it could be in some format which people can easily access, and some page is usually ideal. So create this onboarding document, and in this particular document, what you should do is have links. Don't really try to explain and elaborate on like the details of things like what should be the workflow. Basically, in this particular onboarding document, create like a very simple list, starting with how to log in, Jira URL, Confluence URL, along with how to raise support request. Then talk about or mention dashboard. And in this particular onboarding document, this onboarding document should be generic, so that anyone who is new to Jira, maybe for their team, or maybe they are just new to the company, they should basically be able to look at this document and they have all the links readily available. For example, I think I've mentioned this many times. Whenever you're trying to roll out Jira for a team, try to create dashboards or filters that they can access easily. For example, when you create a dashboard, like link to a system dashboard, or maybe link to a dashboard for a particular team, let us say marketing team in this case, you should of course try to make this dashboard generic. Also create filters like how to find issues assigned to you, how to find issues reported by you, how to find the issues where you are a watcher, something like that. Basically, when you make these links easily available to those filters that are generic filters, then people will not really face challenges in the beginning to find their stuff. And I can tell you, and I'm sure if you have rolled out Jira, finding their own stuff is always a problem, because when people raise issues in Jira, or they create stories or bugs or whatever task, they are not always sure where to find it. Of course, we know that go to this project, go to this board, and you will find your stuff. But when you have links to these filters, like basic generic filters, then it actually gives them comfort that yes, I can simply click on this link. And this document, the idea should be that this document will basically help them get started smoothly, because in the beginning you also want to ensure that when someone is using or trying to use a tool like Jira, you should make it dummy proof for them so that they are able to do what you want them to do. At least you should be able to point them to the right direction. It could be, a project, it could be a board, it could be a filter or a dashboard, it could be things that they can easily access. And create this onboarding document, start here document for of course your teams and anyone who is supposed to use Jira. But at the same time, also, as I just mentioned, find a balance between the training and the time you want to spend rolling out Jira, because I've seen that companies think that rolling out a new tool is going to take, of course, a lot of time, and they want to make it right, which I, of course, agree with. But at the same time, because Jira is just a tool, Jira will, of course, enable you to do your stuff. You want to, of course, use the tool to deliver. That I think you should never really forget, and try to just get started with the tool. Good thing about Jira is that whenever you have, of course, in the beginning, try to identify the way of working, like the process that you want to build. But good thing about Jira is that you can always modify things. It is never really difficult to make changes. Making changes is difficult when you have too many projects using too many configurations. That is, of course, a problem. But when you have like an agreement or some kind of initial agreement on these standard way of working, like some standard configurations, then of course in the beginning I know that there will be some uncertainty about how Jira will work out, whether Jira will be able to support those teams or those new processes, and that is totally okay. In the beginning, of course, you have to give it a try. And usually when we work with our clients, because we are consultants, we know, and we usually tell our clients or those teams upfront potentially what will work for them and or what will not work for them. For example, if because it happens quite a lot with me, whenever I try to roll out Jira, even before rolling out, we try to understand the requirements, and usually teams or stakeholders or whoever is going to use the tool, they ask me a lot of questions about, can we do this with Jira? Can we use Jira to store basically our customer information, or maybe can we use it to do these kind of reports? So of course I tell them upfront about the native capabilities of the tool, things that they can do with the help of an app, or maybe things that they can do with the help of advanced roadmaps, if they want to, of course, use the hierarchy, or if they want to report on data from multiple projects or roadmap, for example. But that is of course our responsibility as a consultant, where we have to make sure that we tell our clients that your end goal is to deliver. At the same time, be aware of what you can potentially expect from Jira and what you cannot do for sure. And once we have this agreement or this clarity in the beginning, then of course when we are starting a journey of rolling out Jira, then there is already, or there should already be some kind of basically you have to manage the expectations of your target Jira users, managers, stakeholders, so that they know what they can expect. And at the same time, when you're working with a consultant, and this is also applicable to people who are there working in the companies, like managers, for example, because they are responsible for using the tool to plan the work, track the work. So you should spend a bit more time with your actual users if someone is struggling to do their stuff. Of course, rely on the onboarding document or training material, but make it very simple. That is the thing. If you have these documents and if you have like some references, like a lot of documentations or training material, slides, videos, then it is very difficult for people to just watch those videos and go through the documentation. Instead, create like a long list where they can open the page where you have like how to do this, how to do that, and links to those filters and dashboards and projects, so that they can do a Control F on that particular document and they can search for it. So it is actually much more convenient to follow a list and bookmark it. And this is something that I do, or I try to do wherever I can. And I thought I'll probably, make a video and also share this with all of you. All right, that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much.